For the Indian cricket team and its fans, the last couple of weeks have been pretty rough. Well, they lost the opening test against New Zealand in Bengaluru by a big margin, and now the Indian cricket team has suffered its first series defeat at home after a run of consecutive home series wins that began in 2012 when New Zealand have completely outclassed the Indian team. They won the Pune test and now they have taken an unassailable 2-0 lead in the three-match series. As expected, there has been a lot of chit-chatter and blame game on social media as to who is really responsible for India's series defeat against the Kiwis. Well, let's just have a look here what the experts have to say about India's performance in the series against New Zealand. Well, Dinesh Karthik, he has had his say on India's series defeat. He said that why should the onus not be on the senior players like Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, R. Ashwin and Ravindra Jadeja? They will look at themselves and say, what could we have done better? I don't think they have to run away from it. Well, in case of both Rohit and Virat, their performance with the bat has been pretty underwhelming to say the least. There weren't those consistent performances that have come in the last 1 or 1.5 years or so. Well, Rohit's captaincy on occasions has been pretty inspiring. Case in point being India's 4-1 series win against England that took place earlier this year, and obviously India's magnificent win against Bangladesh that came in Kanpur, wherein India won a test match inside 1.5 to 2 days. So that's where Rohit's captaincy was good, but then batting, those consistent scores haven't come, those big hundreds haven't come, and same can be said about Virat Kohli also. And in case of both R. Ashwin and Ravindra Jadeja, well, it can be fair to say that, you know, they are actually reaching the twilight of their career. Those wicket-taking spells are really missing. Well, in case of the England series, those big performances did come, but then Ashwin and Jadeja haven't really looked effective in the ongoing series against New Zealand. Well, Sanjay Manjrekar has had his say on Gautam Gambhir. He said that I feel that the coach has the minimal influence on a team, lesser than your 11th weakest player. He does not set foot on the ground. The captain is in charge out there. Well, it's clearly if we go by the keywords that Manjrekar has focused on, if there's anyone to be blamed for India's series lost against New Zealand, it has to be Rohit Sharma, because in case of Gautam Gambhir, he's the one who obviously looks at the matters, you know, off the field. But now in case of Rohit Sharma, he's the one who obviously steps out and takes those important decisions. On occasions, it was said that his captaincy was pretty defensive in both the Bengaluru and the Pune tests, and that's where Manjrekar feels that Rohit has to accept all the responsibility for India's disappointing performances. Well, Manjrekar also said that to really put any kind of responsibility on the door of the coach, that is Gautam Gambhir, would be terribly unfair, because Gautam Gambhir has just taken charge of the team. He's just trying to make sure that the team plays in a specific way, and in case of Rohit, some of the decisions, be it in case of, you know, making those defensive field choices, or maybe, you know, holding Bumrah at a stage wherein you really required him to, you know, bowl those long spells and get those crucial wickets, well, that was really missing from Rohit's captaincy in the first 2 test matches. Well, moving to what Manjrekar said further on Rohit, he said that he needs to be careful of the T20 thinking of matchups, left-hand, right-hand combinations. I think he should just go by the overall quality of the players. Well, what he really means is that Rohit Sharma did not do justice when he promoted Washington Sundar ahead of Sarfaraz Khan in the second innings of the Pune test. What Manjrekar feels here is that Sarfaraz Khan would have benefited by batting at number 6 position, because he's high on confidence after those multiple 50s against England at that beautiful 150 that he scored against New Zealand in the Bengaluru test. And just to make sure that, you know, India had those left-right combination going, Rohit Sharma promoted Washington Sundar at number 6, and that's where Sarfaraz Khan had to be demoted down the order. And this is where Manjrekar has said that there is no point in shuffling the batting order, just go by the quality of the players and just by how the batters have performed. Well, moving to what Anil Kumble, the former India captain and head coach, has had his say on Virat Kohli. He said that perhaps just 1 or 2 innings in a match situation could have helped. Being in an actual game is definitely much more beneficial than just practice. Well, Virat Kohli, he did not really have much of red ball game time ahead of the series against Bangladesh and both New Zealand. Well, earlier this year, he played the two-match series against South Africa, did not take part in the England series due to personal reasons, then played a lot of white ball cricket, IPL, T20 World Cup, the Sri Lanka ODIs, and then he straight away returned to the Bangladesh series. And that's where I think his performances have been very inconsistent, very underwhelming to say the least. He has looked off color, looked pretty good in patches, but then it hasn't really looked that, Kohli is out there to get those big scores. And that's the kind of impression that Kumble probably has of the former India captain. Well, former New Zealand bowler Simon Doull, he said that on India's spin duo Ashwin and Jadeja, he said that if you can't trust an Ashwin or Jadeja to set his own field, you cannot blame Rohit all the time. I think the bowlers have to have some part to play in that as well. Well, if we look at, Ashwin and Jadeja, obviously they have been one of the protagonists of India's home dominance that has taken place from 2012 until 2024. But in the series against New Zealand, well, their bowling did not look really inspiring. Rohit Sharma did have a chat with both the bowlers during the match a lot of time, but then those field settings, those aggressive field settings were missing. Rohit did put it in some situations, but then in case of the inputs, maybe that could have come from Ashwin or Jadeja, well, they probably weren't there. And last but not the least, Manjrekar, he also had his say on Shubman Gill. He said that he clearly does not have the feel for the spinners. Batters who can work with their footwork instinctively. Gill clearly is under pressure. Well, Gill obviously, since the time he has chosen to bat at number 3, he has been specifically referred to as second innings Gill, primarily because of his 50 plus or the hundreds that he has got against Bangladesh and England. But now the point is that he's struggling against spinner, isn't really showing that kind of an instinct or the footwork that is required. And that's where I think Gill, he has to step up, knowing that number 3 is going to be a crucial position. He does not necessarily have to attack, but at the very same time, he'll probably have to play the role of a certain Chiteshwar Pujara or a Rahul Dravid did for India over the years. Well, India still have one more match remaining in the New Zealand series, and they would look to make sure that they end with a consolatory victory. New Zealand, on the other hand, would look to achieve a rare whitewash in India, something that most of the teams haven't really been able to do in the subcontinent, tough Indian conditions. Well, for India, crucial WTC points are also going to be there, because remember, going on from now, they have a total of 6 matches remaining, and they would have to win a total of 4 matches at least so as to secure a place in the WTC final. What do you think? Can India really make a comeback in the New Zealand series and seal that consolation victory, or will New Zealand go all the way in the series? You can let us know your thoughts in the comment section, and don't forget to subscribe to Sports Today for all the exciting updates and analysis from the sporting world. Until then, on behalf of my producer Shashwat, it's Siddharth Gulati saying goodbye.